another episode of Darksteel Showdown. We're going to be doing a ban or unban episode. Today we are talking about balance. And we'll see if we are in balance as we talk about balance today. So balance is a 1 and a white sorcery. Each player chooses a number of lands they control equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. So this hits lands, creatures, and hands.
Yep.
All down to the lowest number.
Correct. Unban.
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 Talk to me about what you would put this in if you unban this.
I think this is a good way for mono white to catch up.
Rather than catch up, bring everybody
Bring
back.
everyone back. If you're behind, like your blue or green, is ramping like crazy. So green could have 9, you have 4. The blue player maybe has 5. The red player has 4 or 5, whatever. Bring everyone back down.
Okay.
Makes sense. Hand size, same thing. Blue player's drawing a bunch of cards. Maybe you only got 3 in hand.
Sure.
Now you have. Everyone has 3 in hand.
Sure. Even green these days is like...
Got a lot of card draw.
Got a lot of card draw, yeah. Greater
right?
good. Sorry, pardon me. Will I just draw like 13 cards?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. And then sacrificing creatures, it's basically like a symmetrical board wipe. Everyone, like, you are sacrificing so you can keep your Emrakul. You can keep your Kozilek the Butcher. You're choosing what you're sacrificing. It doesn't really matter. So I would say unban. Put on the game changer list. And it's totally fine for 2 mana.
No.
Yes.
No. So,
yes.
We finally found a card that we're going to disagree on.
That's great.
Because I completely disagree. Because the only thing I want to do with this card, if you tell me tomorrow that this card is off the ban list, this is going under an Isochron Scepter so fast, dramatic reversal is going to have a head spin. Because if I have this card, this thing... You're familiar with...
Yep.
Okay.
Isochron Scepter.
Isochron Scepter, for those who don't know, I'm going to exile Balance underneath it, and then every single turn I get a copy of Balance for 2 mana.
Yeah.
That is completely unreasonable because it never hits my artifacts.
Correct.
It'll hit my artifact creatures, and it'll hit my artifact lands because those things matter, but I will never need them again. You will never have lands going forward because I will sack all my lands.
So I guess if you put in your deck a way to sacrifice all lands, sure, but then you're still playing land destruction.
But if I'm playing Artifact, Tribal, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond,
there's
whatever.
a lot of ways. Treasures. There's a ton of ways to get land or mana out of artifacts.
The best thing about... So, Zuran Orb is a 0 mana artifact. There's a ton of ways for me to tutor 1 to 0 mana artifact into play, into my hand, so you're not even going to be able to counter it as it comes down. Zuran Orb obviously is the most prevalent one that people know, but if my entire mana base are artifacts, I'm sorry, I have free artifact sack outlets. So I will always be able to sacrifice all of my lands and all of my creatures. It won't matter after a certain point in time because now it is just you are going to sit here and you will subsist in my game until I am done with you.
That is your choice to be that kind of player.
But if
that's what you're doing.
But this is the
this stops the combo players from comboing off. This realigns, balances the game.
This does not stop the combo players from comboing off. Because
depending what they're
if
doing.
it was instant speed, I would agree with you. It's not. It's sorcery speed, which means you are doing it on your turn. Which means if you're putting it in your deck, you're putting there is no deck you currently own that I see this card going in.
Oh no!
Because it needs to go into a deck that takes every card you put in your deck should be taking advantage of the strategy that you're building.
Yes.
This is good deck building strategy.
Yes.
If you have 1 or 2 cards that are in the deck that are like, haha, my pet card, fantastic. This is not a pet card. This is nobody's pet card. This is...
It could be someone's. You don't know the internet. Tell us if it's your pet card.
Get in the comments, tell me I'm wrong. But there's no way, there's no world where this card is put in your deck and you aren't building around it, or because if you draw it and it's a dead card in your hand, if you're head on board, then you're not casting the spell.
Correct.
Which means it's just a dead card in your hand, which means at no point in time do I ever want to draw Balance where it isn't I'm in a position where I can take the game forever.
But if you're in head on board and you have a Farewell in hand, you're still not casting a Farewell.
This is very true.
It's the same kind of thing, it's just a cheaper board wipe.
I mean, if I have Farewell in hand, I'm going to head on board, I'm still going to wrath your graveyard.
You can, if I'm doing graveyard recursion or anything. There are the modes you can choose to do it. I might wait in case someone else does something and Teferi's protections themselves and you...
I don't see a deck that, if I'm running it in a deck, I don't see a world where I run this card, and it not be like if I'm in the lead, sure, I'm not going to cast a board wipe, and you need to have a number of board wipes in your deck so that you can catch up. Every deck needs at least one of those. And you're right, those cards get stuck in your hand if you're not going to, if you're ahead on board, 100%. But if this is your I need to catch up card, there's a problem, which is it doesn't hit artifacts, it doesn't hit enchantments, it doesn't hit planeswalkers.
Yep.
It doesn't hit graveyards. Those are four. Like maybe planeswalkers not so much because they're phasing them out.
Yes.
But artifacts and enchantments are notorious, like getting better with every year. Graveyards are becoming more accessible every single year. This just fills graveyards, and if you have a single creature in play, they get to keep the best thing that they got in play.
Yeah.
Like
when this was created, artifacts and enchantments weren't as prevalent as they are now, and like the meta I would say is based around like all these incidental treasure tokens, food tokens, clue tokens, etc. that you're building. And definitely there's a world where you break a thing, but that's what this gives you an option to. So you're gonna have a few people build that deck. They're gonna build it and be like, was it fun to rage bait my friends and just like ruin their night? Or are they like, oh no, I'm the problem, maybe I don't use it? Because I see it, again, as a way of like catching up. I like the old school jank of like, this is what alpha it came out in, we looked at, right? And like, so it's an old powerful card, similar to many other old powerful cards. Like, you can abuse it, but you can abuse most of these cards that are on the ban list too. See Ancestral Knowledge, or what was the other one? Gristlebrand, right? Ancestral Recall, yeah, and Gristlebrand, and like Iona, and other ones that are like coming out, right? So,
I just think that like this doesn't hard lock. Where there are some cards that are in Magic that will hard lock your opponents out of casting spells.
Yeah.
This doesn't hard lock people out of casting spells. But it does, like, it creates this false hope. Where, let's say, for argument's sake, I put it under an Isochron Scepter and I take control of the game where everything I control is an artifact that I can, like, eventually win the game with from my artifact state, and you don't have any lands in play. We go to your turn and you play a land. And then the next player plays a land, and the next player plays a land, and then we come back to my turn.
And then you do the thing.
And I do the thing using my mana rocks to blow up everyone's land again. But you had hope for a minute there.
You had hope, but like, again, in almost every color now, there's one mana removal.
Sure.
And like, again, play interaction if you're playing Commander. Don't get screwed. Like, again, that's why
the poor mono black player who's just like, sorry, friend.
What is it? 3 mana for like Writhing Torment or something to destroy an artifact?
Enchantments. Doesn't hit artifacts. No, mono black's got a like remove permanents now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but that's at like 4 mana.
There are options, but again, if it's on the game changer list, you're seeing it bracket 3, bracket 4. So at that level, you should be playing more removal and interaction. So you cast Balance, or you go to put it under your Isochron Scepter. I blow up your Isochron Scepter.
Now, in your argument's defense,
yes,
we did not ban Magus of the Balance.
We did not, which is the same thing for 5 mana?
It's on screen.
Somewhere here. While we look it up, because we're unprepared.
It's 2 mana, then 5 mana to tap and sack it to do the thing.
Each player chooses a number of lands they control equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifice the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way.
It's the same wording, but yeah,
it's 5 mana on a tap ability instead of a sorcery.
Yep, and you can see it coming.
Yep.
You don't see Balance coming.
Yeah, but again, you can break it. You can break Magus of the Balance. Maybe not the same way with an Isochron Scepter, but
7 mana over 2 turns to get this effect.
And instead of 2 mana on 1 turn. But, like, you're behind, turn 3, turn 4.
Sure.
Green player, again, has, like, 9, 8, however many lands they do. Everyone else maybe has 1 more as you.
Sure.
All you're doing is slowing down the green player who's run away with the game. You're still wasting or spending your turn to cast Balance. You're discarding cards down to like 3 or 4 in hand. So yeah, maybe you get the graveyard player a bit more stuff, but like, do you have interaction to deal with that? Do they have a way to take advantage of it at that point?
I'm in mono white. I mean, I got Rest in Peace. I got other like graveyard hate.
Yeah,
so
right.
Potentially,
I don't see you running this as like a control piece. I see you running this as a slow down, or again like rebalancing the game.
And I'm watching. I see what you did there. And I'm looking at it as like a win condition to itself. So Balance has been a win condition before in like competitive decks.
Yeah.
So it has a history of doing the thing that I have described.
I would like to see that in competitive instead of just red and blue.
Fair enough. Though you, in previous episodes, have professed to not having that much knowledge of competitive League, and I will say that competitive is not just its colors. There are, but there are, there is one good Magic joke that every player needs to learn when they join Magic, and that's it. And it continues to be good. But I'm gonna sit firm on Balance staying banned. It was banned, and like eventually we'll get to the cards that are not banned that we think should be banned, or like have a discussion about the cards that are like on the edge of banning.
Yeah.
But this was like, this is the same mentality as Worldfire, where it like, what are we doing? We're setting the board state to such a horrendous position.
I think if you play it, though, you're, like you said, in competitive scene, you're having people taking advantage of it where it's their win con. And I think if you're seeing it, if it's on the game changer list or not on the game changer list, if it's not on the game changer list, you're seeing it casual play where someone's just playing it because they're behind in the game. If you're seeing it in competitive, maybe it's a win con, maybe it's just, again, same way to slow down the game. Like, it helps mono white, like, get caught up, and, like, typically most people don't play a lot of mono white decks. I guess maybe not typically, but they're not a popular color to just run a single color for a white.
Especially in our pod, for sure. So I can't think of a
have
mono.
One.
You do?
Oh,
right, yes, you Darian. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great deck. I quite enjoy it. It is very fun to play.
Sure.
But I wouldn't put this in that deck because I'm making all the tokens, and I'm not going to then have to sacrifice my, like, 30 soldiers. Sure. Right? That's not the vibe for this card. But you would play that against my 30 soldiers that have first strike and are like +4/+4 and flying and all these other things, right?
No.
I keep my commander and then maybe like 2 other soldier tokens. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. I think we've found our grounds.
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree in this moment. All right. So stay banned.
Unbanned.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much, friends. Get in the comments. Tell us what you think. Tell him he's wrong.
Tell him he's wrong. Because he's wrong.
Bye, friends.
See ya.